that. And then this introduces a new element to the game entirely. So you need to have the items that they require to feel better. So it's not like a guessing work of how to make them feel better, but obtaining certain items, which it's a disguised way of doing a quest because it's still asking for the same thing. Create this for me, create that for me. And the only way to get certain items is to have it um, populate in certain areas of the portals and realm that you're at. And then once you give it to them, they usually take a day to get better. But there are several other symptoms too that could be involved. So you might fix the first ailment, but the second one will require another, which you will soon see. At this point, I was going back for the old guy because he's the one who makes the actual remedies. I don't know what the nun is there for. I guess for hope. But I have to go back to get the guy who actually makes the medicine, who has given up all faith and hope in the world because the people he heals dies and stuff like that. So it becomes really philosophical out of nowhere. And what we saw just there within the circle of a rock, we'll soon see that that's where you need a get a certain ingredient to cure the poison of the water. So you fix his wounded heart, yada yada. He comes back with you and is like, "Yay, this old bald guy is gonna make medicine for you." Or he'll give another chance just because you've arrived. Same story. Not trying to be a skeptic here, but it's a rehashed quest line from the first chapter, which, in all honesty, it's I don't really complain. I'm not really complaining about it because it's still a fun way to disguise the same quest or same mechanic as the first chapter. But there's a certain charm to the simplicity of what they request or require from you. It makes you think a lot of what needs to be done. So there's still a level of curiosity that's required. At the same time, it doesn't get too boring. And I also made a decision here that I wish I could have thought of better, that I realized later, which was linking up the sick room with the actual medicine room entirely, because the sick room requires two doors, of which this was an issue in the previous one because I couldn't connect two buildings in the first chapter with a door. That's because each room was supposed to only have one door, but since the sick room had two, it implied that it could potentially hook up another room to it. And what other room to attach to the patient room than the actual medicine room? Getting the items were not difficult at this point. Pretty much I had access to all the items. Now I was able to focus and move forward with the quest line, or at least what's required. But there were so many things missing and I wish I could have addressed them. I was missing the gigantic coffer, that huge chest that I could wirelessly send items back to. And I think at this point I was looking for coal. That's why I was going into this cave here. But might as well just make sure I covered my bases. Found these yellow petals that I feel will come in handy. It's such a ominous way to isolate an area just to have this petal. And I'll need clay later on to create a pot too. So I think I'm looking for coal at this point, or more medicinal herbs, or ivy was it? Or at least I knew I needed cord, so... Oh no, I was looking for clay. That's why I was so curious enough to see if that sand was clay. So I found clay and I'm like, oh okay, clay is just randomly in the dirt. Alright. And I go around collecting, I think just a good stack of 99 of clay, and then was on my way. at this point here, we are continuing to make the medicine room. Oh, the old guy and the nun are sleeping together now. I haven't even gone and made an actual bedroom for these two to sleep in. And at the back of this, it required 2 random blocks to have stood there, which is strange, honestly. Not sure why they would require that. Alright, so the herbalist workshop is done. The base grows to level 2. Everyone does their celebratory clap. A really nice touch to the game. Really makes it feel like each progression is noticed. So here's a note for all future game developers. You don't need fancy AI to know, or at least make the game feel immersive. Just make a game that will recognize your actions. Like, instead of leaving it to a speech bubble or a text box that says thank you, have the actual characters come over to where you are or to the room. And there you go. You pretty much have an immersive gameplay. No doubt about that. Another addition to this area, or at least another new room recipe that's required in this area, is the watering hole, of which comes a little later on. But it's a very interesting concept because they needed at least a 10 block water area, and then a bathtub and a stool. That was strange because I didn't know how to pick up water. Did I need to pick up water like that of what is it, Minecraft, where you had to get like a steel bucket, use that on a water block, and it'll take the actual water block itself? So I was curious if that were the case. Oh, I was here doing a nice change. Instead of collecting items, making items, I had to kill a boss monster, which is a little refreshing because I was pretty much tired of looking for that stupid wooden block, so it was a good pace forward. And on the way back, I think they told me to check this area to make sure I brought someone back home, which I already did, so that's why the quest marker wasn't cleared. So once I confirmed that he's back, they just wanted me to heal him, and then the quest should be done. So they combined 2 quests here. They combine picking up the patient that they know is sick, and then to heal. And they'll just wait for the status for them to actually be healed. Then they'll be okay with it. And again, I hated fighting inside the town because that meant that I am also as much of a nuisance, because apparently the game cannot detect that I'm trying to hit a monster instead of breaking a block. So it's like, alright, why not just hit both? So that was a little annoying. And I think after healing this person, I will finally be able to move on to the next area. Oh, okay, yeah, the next fight is about to happen. So a portal should be opening up, and I get to make my first teleportarium. I think I make the first bedroom into that said teleportarium, and I kick them out. I think no resident in my city or town has a bedroom as of yet, because I wanted to create like a legit bedroom, or at least I think I was looking at a housing with 2 floors or something like that, or like some kind of an apartment building. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool to make an apartment building where one side of the building has just stairs, and then leading around the stairs has individual rooms. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That'd be pretty cool. So I start the fight. It was I actually pointed this out to Gina, and how I said that it was a little sexist how the female characters would hide and like yelp. But which is funny because the one guy there is the only young guy was there, all cowering in fear, but the nun and the other female patient that we healed up goes on to fighting. But alright, there's much more to come. There's a lot more to talk about. I'm debating whether or not to cut these videos into 10-minute markers or just do them until I achieve a certain quest. We'll see. There's no real set formula, but I should keep it consistent. I should keep the uploads coming. So we'll go from there. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.